Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we have created a list of 11 players who are way too talented for their club. Goalkeeper, Edwin van der Sar. The Ajax chief executive's playing career included 25 trophies and 130 Netherlands caps, second only to Wesley Sneijder in the nation's history. The 6'6" stopper broke out under Louis van Gaal at Ajax, winning 6 major trophies, including a Champions League and the 1995 award for European Goalkeeper of the Year. 4 years later, Carlo Ancelotti made van der Sar Juventus' first non-Italian keeper. He failed to get his hands on any silverware in Turin, despite conceding just 0.7 goals a game across his 2-year spell. After the Bianconeri bought Buffon for a then world record fee, van der Sar was unwilling to be second choice and decided to move on. But the whole football world was baffled when he decided to join newly promoted Fulham in August 2001. The Champions League winner proved his worth in his first season, conceding just 44 goals, the 4th best in the league as Fulham finished 13th. In 2005, after 4 mid-table finishes, Fergie finally got his man, and van der Sar went on to win 12 trophies in 6 years, including 4 Premier League titles and another Champions League. Defender, Gianluca Zambrotta. Despite turning out for clubs including Juventus, Barcelona and Milan, Zambrotta will always be remembered for his time with Italy. Winner of 98 caps, Zambrotta reached the final of Euro 2000 and was in the team of the tournament at both Euro 2004 and the 2006 World Cup. His crowning glory though was marshalling Italy to a World Cup alongside Nesta, Cannavaro and Grosso, conceding just 2 goals in the process. His most successful domestic spell came with Juventus, where he won back-to-back Scudettos between 2001 and 2003. But he moved to Barcelona after the Calciopoli scandal stripped their side of the last 2 titles and demoted them to Serie B. In 2013, with his legs fading, he joined Swiss second division club FC Chiasso, where he became player manager. Chiasso finished 8th in consecutive campaigns in the 10-team Swiss Challenge League, before Zambrotta was sacked in April 2015. He can now be found out in China assisting Fabio Capello. Defender, Fernando Hierro. How did centre-back Fernando Hierro, who made over 500 appearances for Real Madrid, captained his country and appeared in 6 major tournaments, end up at Bolton Wanderers? Hierro's rock-solid defensive partnership with Manolo Sanchez was instrumental in Los Blancos winning 5 league titles and 3 Champions Leagues between 1989 and 2003. He also had an incredible eye for goal, scoring in every single year of his 18-year career and netting an astonishing 64 goals in 4 seasons between 1990 and 1994. In the 91-92 season, Hierro scored 21 league goals, which was 27% of Los Merengues' total that season. Hierro left Madrid in 2003 in opposition to Perez's Galacticos policy, and after a year in Qatar, took the advice of former teammate Steve McManaman and joined Sam Allardyce's Bolton in 2004. Big Sam's star-studded side, which included Hierro, Speed, Okocha and Ivan Campo, finished 6th, just 3 points behind 4th place Everton, securing Bolton European football for the first time. Defender, Marcel Desailly. Desailly is a legend of the game, a key member of the French team that conceded just 7 goals on the way to winning the 1998 World Cup and Euro 2000. The centre-back was the first player to win back-to-back Champions Leagues with 2 different clubs. In 1998, aged 30, he moved to Chelsea and formed a formidable defensive partnership with fellow countryman Frank Leboeuf. But his 6-year spell in West London only yielded 2 top 4 finishes and 1 FA Cup. In 2004, a new manager, Jose Mourinho, decided to lower the average age of his squad and got rid of Desailly and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. The 116-capped Frenchman decided to join Qatari side Al Gharafa. Unsurprisingly, Desailly's quality showed and he scored 6 goals in 28 games for the Middle Eastern outfit. Defender, Juan Capdevila. Completing our star-studded defence, which has 3 World Cups, 5 Champions League and 2 Euros, is left-back Capdevila. Spain's 2010 World Cup winning squad contained the likes of Casillas, Ramos, Xavi, Iniesta and Villa. It is perhaps understandable that left-back Capdevila never quite gets the credit he deserves. The then Villarreal fullback, a winner of Euros 2 years earlier, played every minute of La Roja's first and only World Cup triumph. He was also the only member of the starting lineup that didn't play for either Real Madrid or Barcelona. Just 5 years after getting his hands on the most coveted trophy in football, and after spells at Espanyol and Benfica, Capdevila joined Lier's SK. a Belgian second division side. Unfortunately, after just 4 appearances, he injured his knee, ruling him out for the rest of the season. The unsung hero only managed a further 7 professional games in Andorra before retiring.
Hold up, wait right there. Are you subscribed to Football Daily? No? Then click the red button down there and you won't regret it.
Midfielder, Paul Gascoigne. The man who had the world at his feet, but unfortunately didn't have the right head on his shoulders. Gaza played for 9 clubs in 5 different countries, but he is arguably remembered best for his moments in an England shirt. He was the creative force of an England side that reached the semi-finals in the 1990 World Cup and netted that famous goal against Scotland 6 years later. In spite of his obvious talent, the midfielder only got into double figures for goals on 3 occasions, and never made more than 30 league appearances in a season after 1990. The 91 FA Cup final just about summed him up. He scored a blinding free kick, one of 6 goals in that tournament, but then ruptured his knee ligaments in a rash challenge, which ruled him out for the entirety of next season. In 2003, he signed for now defunct Chinese side Gansu Tianma and scored 2 goals in 4 games. Unfortunately, Gascoigne then travelled to America to receive treatment for alcoholism against the club's wishes, and they terminated the 37-year-old's contract, a sad end to an unfulfilled career. Midfielder, Dunga. Dunga, who was manager of Brazil as recently as June 2016, is one of the most decorated international players of all time. The only player to have played in the final of the World Cup, Olympics, Confederation Cups and Copa America, the player actually had quite a low-key domestic career. He did spend a 4-year spell with Fiorentina between 1988 and 1992, but they finished 8th before 3 consecutive 12th place finishes. The captain of Brazil's victorious 1994 World Cup campaign and their unsuccessful run to the final 4 years later, Dunga was a very good leader but an unexceptional player. After 2 7th place finishes with Stuttgart and only a year after winning the World Cup, the defensive midfielder made the decision to move to Japan and join Jubilo Iwata. He was joined by the star of the 1990 World Cup, Salvatore Schillaci, but despite the star-studded lineup, his 3-year spell in Japan ended trophyless. Midfielder, Matt Le Tissier. Matt Le Tissier is quite simply leg god to the Southampton faithful after rejecting multiple big clubs throughout his career. The Guernsey man was an attacking midfielder who scored 209 goals for the Saints, becoming their 2nd top scorer of all time. Le Tissier was a goal-scoring machine, netting at least 10 goals in every season for a decade and becoming the first English midfielder to score 100 goals in the Premier League. His best campaign was undoubtedly the 93-94, when Le Tissier scored 25 league goals in 38 games. To put that into context, the most league goals Lampard ever scored in a campaign was 22. One of the greatest penalty takers of all time, the now pundit scored an extraordinary 48 of his 49 penalties. His 98% success rate makes Alan Shearer's 90 look ordinary. Despite having scored at an average of 0.4 goals a game for the previous 4 seasons, Le Tissier was controversially overlooked by Glenn Hoddle for the 1998 World Cup. One club superstar criminally underused. Forward, Sir Stanley Matthews. Often regarded as the greatest player in British football history, Stanley Matthews, known as the Magician, remains the only player to be knighted while still playing. Matthews is often known for the incredible longevity of his career, finally hanging up his boots at Stoke aged 50 after playing for 30 seasons. But that does a disservice to his incredible ability, which helped him win the inaugural European Footballer of the Year award, a precursor to the Ballon d'Or, in 1957 ahead of Di Stefano. Matthews, who played exclusively for Stoke and Blackpool, sadly had 7 peak years taken away by World War II, aged 24. But he only spent 1 season fighting for the top flight title and spent 4 seasons in the 2nd division. For a player as talented as Matthews to only have the 1953 FA Cup, dubbed the Matthews Final, and 2 2nd division titles to show for 30 years of graft is indicative of his loyalty. Forward, Sebastian Giovinco. Giovinco, or the Atomic Ant as he's known due to his athleticism and 5'4" frame, continues to tear up the MLS with Toronto FC. Giovinco rose through the academy at Juventus, and after the Calciopoli scandal, players such as Adrian Mutu and Zlatan left, paving the way for Giovinco to get more game time. Never a regular starter at Juventus, he did manage to score 11 goals in 42 games during the 2012-13 season and play a part in 2 consecutive title wins. However, in 2015, aged 28, he made the brave decision to move to Canada and join Toronto FC, becoming the league's highest paid player. This may have put an end to his international career, with the 31-capped forward only getting 2 caps since 2014. But he scored 0.6 goals a game, won the MLS Golden Boot and became the club's all-time top goalscorer. Forward, Wilfried Zaha. Some people believe that Wilfried Zaha suits being a big fish in a small pond, and that he didn't do enough in his brief spell at United to prove that he belonged at the top of the table. But people forget that Zaha was a victim of circumstance. Fergie's last ever signing before retiring, Zaha arrived at the club alongside Moyes in a period of massive upheaval at the club. Zaha, then only 21, was competing with Nani, Young and Kagawa for a starting spot, and Juan Mata's arrival in January further limited his game time. As Zaha says in his own words, opportunities didn't come as easy. The manager was under pressure, the club was under pressure. In this environment, Moyes only turned to Zaha on 4 occasions, and he ended up back at Crystal Palace in 2014. Zaha has shown his quality since. In the 16-17 season, he contributed 32% of Palace's league goals. But it's his dribbling that really sets him apart. Last year he attempted 141 take-ons, which is 22 more than Neymar and 12 more than Messi. Congratulations, you got to the end of the video. Your prize, another lovely video. And as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.